Patch. I guess this is like a way to come up with cool, like novel ways of patching your modular synth setup. So yeah, we're gonna try to play this this kind of game thing. It gives you basic directions on the back, so we're just gonna follow those first. It says to separate the abstraction cards from the progression and disruption cards. So right here, all these blue cards, these are abstraction cards. We're going to separate them. And brown is disruption, brown or orange or whatever that color is. And this nice olive drab green is progression. So basically what this is it gives you kind of rules to follow with the abstraction cards. And then progression and disruption are, you know, two sides of the same coin. So we're going to follow this. My setup is a little bit unorthodox, I guess you could say, because right now I'm running, you know, a main 6U 84 HP synth. That's like my main thing, but obviously my auxiliary rack right now has Maestro in it. And then I have another auxiliary Pico 3. So that I use for like a lot of mixing and stuff. So let's just see kind of how this goes. Let's put those there. So that's our progression and disruption. Alright, and then the abstractions, we'll just shuffle those real quick. Okay, so draw an abstraction card. Follow its description as a guide while you patch. This one says, use every cable you can. Okay. Use every cable you can. Well, here goes nothing. Is that good enough for you? Okay. At any time, draw from the progression/disruption pile. Follow the card's direction, place the card aside into a discard pile, and continue patching. Draw new cards as often as you wish. Reshuffle a discard pile if you deplete a draw pile. Okay, so let's start. First one we get is turn down every attenuator by half. I don't know how great of an idea this is right off the bat, so let's see. Half on Octosource is going to give us a freeze. Oh boy, I'm not gonna bother with the Pico. Okay, let's go for the next one. Choose two modules and patch them together. Alright, so for this one we're going to use like a random number generator or something. So how many modules do I have? We're not going to count Pico for this. It's too much. So I have 18 on this thing, I think, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I thought it was 18, but 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We have 23. So let's use like a random number generator here. And pick them. So that'll be 1 through 9, and then 10 through 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Sound good? All right. Perfect. Numbergenerator.org. Always there for us. 14 is the one. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So Octosource in freeze mode. All right. Sounds good. And let's put these together in a pile here. Make sure everything is a little better organized. 14 and then 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Sync Defero and Octosource. Okay. That is going to result in very little. So clearly we need to keep going. Sync Defero is just a quad attenuator mult kind of thing, which, by the way, I forgot to change those attenuators. Ironically, those are like the only actual attenuators in my whole system. Well, I guess maybe instead of mirror, except mirror. For each VCO, flip a coin if heads change frequency. Well, we're not going to use a VCO yet, so I'm going to keep that one on the side. But if a VCO comes into play, or, you know, I really only have one VCO, technically. I can already tell this is going to be more talking than patching, so we're going to consider those VCOs. Voice, technically, too, I guess. Not technically, but for purposes of this, we're going to consider it a VCO. Alright, let's just patch some stuff here. So, this should be funny. It'll let's do 4 inputs, 4 outputs. Kind of random. And then, I don't know if you can cross-patch. Yeah, you can. As you can see, I'm already learning stuff, so, I mean, it's like I never would have thought of a lot of these things, because some of them are guaranteed to be stupid as hell. Like this one. So, sync defero is a quad buffered multiple attenuator module. So if I run, let's see, an octosource frozen octosource output that's outputting a positive voltage, which, before we go any further, it's kind of irritating. I will say that the positive voltages on octosource are red, but negative voltages are red on sync defero. That's fucking annoying, but regardless, so if you patch a positive output into here, right, which turns green once it gets to sync defero, because fuck me, right? And then you go out from sync defero and you plug that into the wave CV, you see that the wave changed. Because it changed which wave was active here, which makes sense, and it's frozen. It would change, obviously, if I were to do that, which makes cool things happen on sync. So this is a good idea so far. I kind of like it. So we're just going to use that, excuse me, beer, patch for now. Actually, we'll do one more. Let's take the third output of sync and plug it into phase CV. So now we've got movement on here, a little bit of movement. I know I wasn't supposed to touch these attenuators, but I'm going to touch them a little bit. Alright, let's draw another one and see what happens. So that's the VCO one. Modulate the clock rate. Well, we don't really have clock rate, but we can try to see what happens if we use one of these sync defero outputs to hit the clock sync here. Oh, that actually does change it. Cool. Interesting. I don't think that's weird. Okay, yeah, I don't really know. Let's see. We need to get some sound in here. Choose a module, patch every connection. So we have 23 modules. Let's roll 6. Awesome. So we got Manus. So let's patch every connection that we can. So let's hit Manus with some octosource here and see what happens. So we'll have one of them trigger it. Let's have this one hit. Low pass filter sounds good. Let's see, this east output, we're going to hit the mode, and then this southeast output will hit not pitch. Probably profundity, deep. Okay, let's patch to an output real quick and see what happens. Real quick, also, we do have a VCO, right? So flip a coin if heads change frequency. Let's see, flip a coin, so we'll roll a die. 1 2-sided dice, my favorite amount of sides on a dice. Flip that shit. Come on, go. Roll. 1. 1 would be heads, right? So change frequency. Okay, so that means we're going to actually, let's just change that. We'll go up a little bit, and then we'll knock down the range. Let's patch this into our mixer and see what happens. It's going to sound like shit. Guaranteed. Ready? I'm not surprised at all that just made harsh noise. Okay, that's cool, I guess, that's the thing that can happen. That's actually really rad. But it's not really anything I want. But let's continue with this and see kind of how far we can get. Swap attack and decay times. Well, we can't really do that. I already get the feeling that, like I said, since my setup is unorthodox, then we might get some issues with things like this. Swap attack and decay times. I mean, the Manus has only got one envelope that switches between decay and attack. We can modulate the envelope. Why don't we do something to modulate it? We were talking about clock rate earlier, right? So modulate the clock rate. Why don't I run mux, and we can hit it with the clock out, the envelope, and see what happens. It's not going to be good, but we'll see. I'm not sure what that did for us, other than make some of the notes very like so, I mean, I guess that's the thing. Let's see, what else we got? Add noise. Well, I mean, I can't really add much more of that. That was already extremely noisy. But, you know what? Actually, fuck that. You can always make things noisier. That's my credo in life. So let's throw this into the plasma drive, which is already going bonkers, by the way, you can tell. So everything's at half, voltage CV doesn't matter, although we could maybe drive it if we wanted to. Let's throw that into a VCA because I'm a little worried about what that's going to do to my life here. Let's take that down a little bit. Linear response sounds good because I am a glutton for punishment. And let's go positive output, ANSI. Okay, it's getting more interesting, I guess we could say. Which is weird, kind of unexpected. I was not expecting to make harsh noise here, but I guess that's the beauty of Patch, the card game. Patch, the card game. So, let's continue. Choose a module, unpatch all of its inputs. Unpatch all the modulation from Manus? Okay, sure. Let's unpatch all the modulation from Manus, and we're going to put it in other places. Why is that plug? Oh, that just kind of fell there. Okay. That's a weird place for that to fall. Alright. Take everything out from Manus. See how it sounds without any modulation. Let's see. Okay, Kane confirms sounds like Manus. Let's run some stuff into plasma drive. So let's have the clock that was previously controlling, what the fuck was it, the envelope of Manus. Let's have that run this sub trigger here. So now you'll see the sub trigger light go on and off. So that'll get us a little bit of like rhythmicness. We want to make it real fast. Okay, cool. And then we'll turn the octave off here. Let's run one of these outputs into the octave trigger. I'm not sure if that's ever going to hit. It might not ever hit. Oh, it's hitting it, actually. You can tell. There we go. It might hit it sometimes. Okay, and then let's actually do this one because it's closer. And this one will go to dry wet. This one goes to volt CV, so now that actually comes into play. Let's turn voltage down. And I don't know. This can go into mirror, and we'll see. Oh, I wonder what that sounds like unity mixed. See, here's where things get weird, because mirror has two inputs per channel, so it's like a unity gain mixer, a 8-channel unity gain mixer. Not really, but you know how it is. So let's hear how that is plugged in, and then we'll change it to audio amplitude modulation if it doesn't sound good, which it probably won't. Holy shit! Well, I mean, I'm sorry for the ear-splitting sound right in the very beginning. Yeah, we need to get this externally triggered. How about we just send all gates from mux and set it to 1 and just have that trigger? Let's see what happens. Holy shit! Alright, I mean, that's really harsh and sounds really good, actually. I'm going to call an audible here, I guess, and just ignore patch for right now because I just really want to play with Black Hole with this. I feel like a little bit of delay would probably be really nice. So it's just gonna be a little bit, just 25% wet. No, actually 20-ish% wet on Black Hole. And we'll see. Just a little bit. As a treat. I definitely, like I said, did not expect this to be the result. I guess maybe because my rack is designed for noise and industrial stuff, in a sense. I mean, you don't use plasma drive unless you're trying to make some high octane shit. Um, let's draw more cards. Let's just draw more cards. Actually, you know what? I'm going to draw another abstraction and see, because I haven't used all the cables yet, so I feel like that's kind of a waste. Use only half of your modules chosen at random. Okay, chosen at random, so let's just do it like every other one. So we can only use mux, mirror, sync, mixer, plasma, trigger, rample, and BIA. So we can't use Octosource, so we need to get rid of Octosource out of here, so that's going to ruin a lot of shit. I'm already determining that this might have been a bad idea. So we got to get everything out of sync defro, and we'll start kind of over here. So let's get that out of there. We can't use Manus. We can't use BIA. Okay. Okay, so we can use BIA. So Mux, BIA, Manus. No. What did I say? Did I just fuck that up completely? Every other module. Yeah, so Mux, BIA, Manus. No. What the fuck am I doing? Wow. So sequencer. Did I like totally? I skipped the sequencers. All right, let's just repatch. Let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the beginning, because that was kind of fun. So let's shuffle our abstraction cards in, and shuffle our whatever the fuck these are. God, I really want to do something with Maestro. Let's do something with Maestro. So I'm gonna, whatever, if it says anything about choosing whatever, I'm using Maestro. I don't give a fuck about the rules here. What is the guy who made Patch gonna come and fight me? I just gave him 25 bucks like a few days ago, so he can deal with it. Let's see. Better not be the same one. I'm always really bad with shuffling. Create an entire patch without listening. Okay. Add noise. Okay, this might not have got shuffled correctly. I mean, there aren't that many cards, so it could just be a coincidence. Choose a module, patch an output to an input. Okay, so we're gonna do feedback loop stuff then, I guess. What happens if you... We'll do BIA. Audio modulate BIA. That makes sense. Let's use... Well, I got a knuckle bones over here. Actually, no. You know what? Fuck that. I've got a fucking module specifically for this purpose. I don't need a knuckle bones. Alright. Let's have... How does this work? What happens if I do that? Does that just constantly trigger? Yeah, I guess it does. Okay, cool. Weird. Cool. Dumb. Okay, let's send one of those out to... This is gonna be stupid. Can already tell. What the fuck is 7 on black hole? I need like I need my whole thing here. 7 on black hole. 7 is phase delay. Okay, sounds good. Let's try it. Turn that down. Turn that real down, because I think we're gonna have a feedback loop here. Let's do that to that, and then that to that. We're not gonna use VCAs for this. It's gonna be noisy. Alright. This has potential, and I'm thinking if we were to somehow figure out a way, I know it says create an entire patch without listening, but like I said, I'm already going to break the rules on this one. We should use Maestro to control some of these parameters. And the two that we can't control, because I think there are 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there's 9. So this has 6 modulation lanes. Let's use Maestro to clock mux. Make a clock division that's slow enough for Octosource. 6 of the lanes will go to 6 of these things. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then decay, mode, and whatever, pitch or whatever the fuck it, frequency. Those will modulate with Octosource. This is going to be probably nuts. I'm actually kind of excited for this patch. Okay, so what did I say I was going to do? Okay, let's go to clock menu on the, I just got this yesterday, so we're going to choose a random clock. It seems kind of fast. Okay, that's fine. Send it to clock in on mux. Run mux. Let me just make sure that worked. Did that work? Yeah, it did. Okay. It's definitely taking it. I'm going to hit random a couple more times just to make sure. Plus, I just love random shit. So, I have like so many modules with cool random capabilities that is going to make using Patch, the card game, very fun. Okay. So what did I say we're going to do? So patch mux and then clock out as a division to Octosource, right? So that it gets a nice slow movement, LFO. Wait, why is it resetting? Oh, it's not. That might have just been the wave that it was on. It might be like a saw or a ramp wave. Octosource is complicated, but it's got 8 different waves on it and morphs between them continuously, so it's like as you rotate this knob. So that's probably like a ramp wave because it goes like that. Okay, let's see. What was I going to do again? We're probably going to do random waves just to see how this sounds, because like I said, it's already screaming into the void, right? So and then we've got this guy clocked. So we'll take north output to decay. Southeast output to mode, which, okay, seems like it's taking. And then southwest output to bass alto treble. Set that to there. Let's turn everything down because I think this is going to be crazy. I mean, it was obviously going to be crazy. So what we got to do with Maestro right now is set up 6 different waves. This is probably boring to watch. I get that you're not hearing anything. I'm going to try to do this as quick as possible. So what I'm going to do is select the first modulation lane. We're going to hit random 1/4, 1. Random 1/4, 2. Random 1/8, 3. Random 1/8, 4. Random 1/16. Bipolar 5. Random 1/16. Smooth 6. And let's take a listen. Alright, I'm thinking sync defero might not be the greatest thing to use. Obviously, it's not the greatest fucking... That's not how you use a fucking mult. In the interest of making this actually good, maybe? Not really, it's not gonna be good. But, let's do... Set this to 1... Set mux to 1 gate per. Common to trig. So it's always getting hit unless these are less than half. So we can sort of play it. How about we play it a little bit? Let's do, let's just go into a VCA here. So. Just because I feel bad. I don't use them enough. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's gonna be techno if I just throw the kick in. So why don't we just sync the kick with mux? Can I send all gates to sync the vocal kick? Yeah, probably. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. Let's see. No, you know what I should probably do is sync all gates to sync. Drop the voltage of that because the Volca does not like Euro rack voltage, which, you know, makes sense. I understand you. I understand you, little buddy. I know you don't want to fucking... I know you don't want to do it. And let's do one... That's maybe a little fast. Uh-oh. Alright, I really like the sound of that. It's not quite what the original patch thing was telling me to do, but it is getting me to try to do weird shit, so that's good. Let's try to continue with something else. Attack and decay times, yeah, we're not going to do that, we already did that. I already did that too. Choose a connection and unpatch it. Okay, well, let's unpatch that. And we'll actually send that instead to, I don't know, FM here. See what happens. Fun. I don't know if it's good. It's kind of cool. Choose a module, set its controls at maximum. Alright, so we can do two things here. We can set BIA, everything to maximum. We could set this to bipolar, and then you'll get a bipolar modulation. Yeah, let's try that. So, bipolar down ramp. Yeah? No, let's do half of them. Even numbers are going to be bipolar up ramp, 1/16. By the way, I fucking love this thing and its ability to just do whatever you want. You can just literally do whatever you want. Well, you want to do literally whatever you want. Sure, just do it. Let's do that and then set all of these to maximum. I don't know what's gonna happen here. I want to use a different delay too. What's 4? That's the high pass delay, right? Okay. Let's do that. Hmm. Yeah, not sure. I'm not sure how much I dig that. It's good. It's cool. Uh, it's definitely cool. I'm not sure how much I enjoy it, as it were. I would like to add some rample to this. I think getting samples in here would make it next level or something. So, in order to do that, and I want them all to go through the DSP. So I'm going to use a long cable to run them through one of the Pico mixers. Maybe. Although the Black Quad VCA has automatic cascading. So you just do that. Mirror doesn't have automatic cascading. You gotta use patch cables, which is fucking lame. I understand why, and it's actually more useful as a module than this because it actually handles CV correctly because it's DC coupled correctly, whereas Black Quad VCA is, by the way, not. It's not DC coupled correctly. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but I know the Black Quad VCA 2, they're like one of the selling points that they put for it. This frustrated me so much that I actually just bought Mir because it's cooler anyway. But one of the selling points for the Erica Black Quad VCA 2, and by the way, I am wearing an Erica Synth shirt, so yeah, I like them a lot. They were like, the Pico was my first modular system, and I learned how to patch on it last year, but one of the selling points of Black Quad VCA 2 is the fourth channel is DC coupled. I'm like, wow, that's great. That's so cool. A VCA should be all DC coupled. VCA should be able to handle CV. I don't fucking care. Like, they should all be able to handle CV. So, yeah, we're actually gonna run this. Nope, that cable's not long enough. I've got some really long red cables. That's not even long enough. I've got some really long red cables. I do, somewhere in here. Of course, I'm picking up all the small ones. Oh, am I using them all for other stuff? Shit. Really? Seriously? I don't have any of them available to me. Oh, here's a longer one. Seriously, that's really rough. Okay. Let me just check something. Okay. Just making sure that's working correctly. Alright, so you can go into VCA 1. No, that's not what I wanted to do at all. So, BIA. You go into VCA 1 there. And then, Rample. I have another long cable. I want maybe a long black cable somewhere. Yeah, I'm sure you tuned into this so you could watch me find fucking cables. Alright, so let's run the Rample's mix out to the second input here. This should cascade. I'm pretty sure it cascades on there. I like that I'm doing this without even knowing. That's really professional. And then I need another long cable. Shit. Worst comes to worst, I can just use knuckle points. I think I'm using my long cables for synchronizing stuff. No, you know what? I don't even fucking need... Why am I doing that? Alright. So, what did I want to do? Yeah, out 2 should theoretically mix those both into that. Okay, I can already hear it. Excuse me. What is this Rample kit? Rample is nuts because the kits that came with it are amazing. I haven't even touched it, like, in terms of open up my computer. It's like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna add to this? Like, the thing has just straight up a few kits that are just harsh noise. Like, this one is crazy. Like, listen to this shit. That's nuts. That's fucking crazy. And all you gotta do is hit randomize, and you basically get a whole other thing because you can. With Rample, you can multi-sample your samples, so like each sample can have like up to 12 layers, I think. And one of the things that it randomizes when you hit randomize is which layer is active. So each time you hit the trigger for the sample, it might play one of 12 different sounds. So you could theoretically, if you wanted to, sample 12 different songs in each of the 4 samples, and then have Rample be like, play one of 48 songs every time you hit this button. Like, it's fucked up. That's fucking crazy. Let's just all right, so here's what we're gonna do. So this is going to that. I actually would rather set no. That's going to that, right? This is where I actually want to use knuckle bones. So here we go. Splitting clock, my favorite thing in the world. Okay, so now that goes to there, and then this will run Pico trigger, which until I get the Korg SQ64, this is going to be my way to trigger Rample. SQ64 is going to be awesome because you can, it's got 4 drum tracks, 4 monophonic drum tracks, so you can just set 4 different gate outs, and you can just draw in what you want to draw in. Perfect for Rample. Come on, you can reach, right? All right, this is probably going to be nuts, isn't it? So let's actually drop the tempo of this. Okay. This is totally not following this at all anymore. So, yeah, that's for sure. It's cool. What is happening is cool. But a lot of these don't fit with what I've got here. It wants to talk about VCOs a lot, so you know what is I'm gonna try it with a with like GVCO and see a little bit of what happens. I'm gonna just kind of try to patch it like a little normally, and we'll see. Let's unpatch all the things here. Alright, you can stop. Unpatch all the things. The worst fucking part about modular, other than extreme cost, although it makes it more satisfying when you get stuff, I suppose. Whoopsies. Let's do patching. Kind of normal. We're going to use an envelope generator, a traditional one. I don't do this very much, so apologies if I'm very slow at it. Oh boy, okay, so we gotta do this. I know, it's gonna be real awkward to watch. What's that? Actually fit. Yeah, okay. Alright, we need a clock here. Let's do... Yeah, let's just send clock from this guy. It's been good to us so far. Oh, I forgot that hitting mute when you're in clock just stops it. That's useful to know for momentary modulation purposes. Alright, that's really fast. Let's slow that down. Is that right? Yeah, that is right. What does high do? High and low. What do those do? When you're in clock mode, clock menu. High is a manual reset, low resets the internal clock. Okay. So, high resets, low sets to 120. So, we could go super high, and then we can hit low, and we'll get back. What does ramp up do? God, I don't... It sounds like nothing. Awesome. My favorite sound. Matrix mode's fun. Christ. I always forget that you need to take this down to like 4. Using the Pico sequencers at 8 octave range is just blistering. Actually 3 is probably fine. Yeah, so that's gonna be like astral projection. So now we need to send alt here from the clock to this one. I haven't really done anything, to be fair. That's just like the basic sound of GVCO in the Matrix mode. So let's try to get that to be faster, right? So I want to clock divide that, right? How are we going to do that? We would like to clock divide that. I suppose we could knuckle bones that. And then use, my only clock divider is Mux, so that sort of sucks. That's the clock that I want for that, but it's not the clock I want for this. So we want the clock to go in here, right? And then in here, into that, but then that we want to be that speed for that, but that's different speed for so two different. Why is this hard? This isn't hard. This is not hard. This is not hard. We want this to be this speed, right? And we want this to run faster. So I want this to go out here. This is stupid. This isn't that hard. Right? So this goes here. And it goes into here. That makes that faster. But we want that to be faster. Right? But then that to go in here. And send a division out to here. Right? I believe that's right. Let's see if it worked. Okay, I mean, yeah, but just having a kick drum is kind of boring. We can do some stuff with this. I actually have a cool idea for, so it's like, stick with me. This idea is actually cool, I promise. So we're gonna do another split here. This is gonna go into the clock of this guy. We're gonna run this add a different sequence length. Make sure we bring this down to 2 octaves, because I'm going to combine the CVs from both sequencers. So we're going to use a mult to do that. I could just use sync def row, I suppose. Let's make them play in different directions. That'll be like a ping pong one. Combining CVs makes interesting sequences. And I like to use it when making shit like this, so it's not incredibly novel. Okay, so we want every time I do something like this, I'm like, oh god. Okay, so we want both CVs to go to this destination, right? So this is going to go here, and it's coming from here, and from here. The gate information is still just going to come from the right sequencer. But now we've got 2 different pitches. Maybe not the best idea. I've had better ideas, for sure. This is not one of my best. But the show must go on, so let's throw Rample into the mix here. God, that's really fast. Do I want it to be that fast? I'm really not sure that I really want it to be that fast. Let's take that one instead. That might be better. First of all, let's choose a good sample kit for trance. That might be good. I'm not really sure, but that's okay. We definitely don't want that one, so let's... do some logic here. Logic. This isn't gonna be good. It's okay. Why was I messing with Mux? It's like every now and then I'll just get this urge to just play with fucking sliders for no reason. It's like, I'm just messing around. But there's no fucking purpose because there's nothing plugged into this at all. This still sucks. It probably has to do with this being slow. So let's actually send it the fast one that I originally was going to send it and see how that sounds. Maybe use a different pattern because that pattern might suck too. Okay, the snare is just really loud though. Okay, so that's the third one. Let's filter that down. Look at the cards. I know this is a little bit spoiler alert maybe, and you know, you can skip this part if you don't want to know about the cards that are in Patch the Card Game, but let's look at the abstractions first of all. So I only tried a few of them, right? So the first abstraction card that I have here is actually an interesting one. My setup has a lot of gates and triggers because techno, so triggers are your audio source, which is cool. We can do stuff with that for sure. I mean, I have Rampage, which is basically like maths, so you can slew a trigger, so you can send the trigger into the in on this thing instead of instead of the trigger input, and it'll make a sound, and you can use the rise falls at a low rate to make it actually make sound. So we can do that. Also, triggers can just be a good audio source. You can ping filters. I don't have any that are pingable. But I suppose if I set a trigger into Scalpel, you might be able to wave shape it in a certain way. I'm sure there are cool things you can do with that. start patching with your least favorite module. I got to choose my redheaded stepchild, which I don't know. In this case, probably the trigger because I'm going to replace it at some point. But yeah, there are things in here that are cool and interesting, but there's only a few of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 abstraction cards total. I'm looking forward to other volumes of this. As you can see, it says Volume 1. So I'm hoping that this guy comes out with more that have, uses that aren't more traditional setups. Use no modulation, only your hands. That's cool. Use gates as modulation. I do that all the time. Use only half your modules chosen at random. Use no attenuation. Audio as your clock. Audio as clock is cool. Use every cable you can. Create an entire patch without listening. For progression, we've got, let's see, let's organize these real quick. Progression, disruption, progression, disruption. Alright, so let's do progression first. So for progression, we've got, choose a module, patch an input to an output. That's one we already did. Swap attack and decay times. Yeah, I mean, it means you use envelope generators, which maybe I'm just an idiot. I don't really traditionally have one. I guess I could switch rise and fall times. That's pretty similar if I was using Rampage as a traditional envelope, which I don't typically use it for, but it seems like, honestly, a stupid use for a function, for a dual function generator, like a surge thing, but whatever. Modulate the clock rate. Sure, I guess we could do that with Meister. We could do that with Mux. It could be interesting. Choose 2 modules, patch them together. I mean, that's how modular synthesis works, so I'm not sure. Add noise. I mean, I do have noise, but I honestly don't find a great use for noise other than to make harsh noise, and I have plenty of modules to do things like that. Tune VCOs to a chord. Oh, how novel. I mean, it's really not. It's weird because this whole thing, the whole idea of this, right, is to come up with novel ways of patching, and tuning VCOs to a chord is honestly a little bit boring. For each VCO, flip a coin if heads change frequency. I mean, that's cool. If I had more VCOs, that'd be great, but with the voices that I have, that might be interesting too if I was using them all, but like this thing doesn't necessarily have a abstraction card that says use all your voices, which not everybody uses all their voices for all patches, so I guess that is, an abstraction card that says, like, use every fucking voice you have, we would be getting somewhere. What I would like to see before I go further with this would be maybe something that's like conditional abstraction cards, or conditional cards in general, because I feel like logic is a big part of modular synthesis. So we've got, logic gates, we've got logic, and, nor, XOR, blah, 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 you all know about them. I think it would be interesting to have, like, a logical way that these cards play. Like, for instance, I don't know if any of you have ever played, what's it called? We didn't playtest this at all, and this kind of reminds me of it. I don't think that that's a compliment, because we didn't playtest this at all is a game that doesn't work fundamentally, and if you're playing with friends, the whole point of it is that you kind of make up house rules. And yeah, sure, you can make up house rules with this, but I feel like there's, there should be some things that are like, if you can't tune VCOs to a chord, then do this instead. There should be like a little bit of rigidity so that I don't feel like I'm drawing things that don't work for my system. And maybe it's just because my system is, like I said, maybe a little unorthodox. That's possible. But yeah, I think that would be a cool thing to think about for the future of this game. For each VCO, turn every attenuator down by half. I did kind of like that. Yeah, I don't have a lot of attenuation because my setup is made for very maximalist stuff, I suppose. Disruption, we've got unpatch all pitch inputs, so, okay. Choose a module, patch every connection on it. I mean, I've got plenty of those that we love to do shit like that with. Manus, for instance, loves it. Rampage can do really fun things when you start to modulate the rise and falls and the, exponential and log response rate stuff. Choose a module, set its controls at maximum. Dude, max is the best way to go. You gotta do it. Choose a connection, unpatch it. I mean, I feel like there should be maybe a version of this that has, like, certain kinds of cards that you draw, you draw X. It could be like, You know what I mean? You know what I'm thinking of here is like choose a connection and unpatch it. I think it would be cool if there was maybe like booster packs or something that you could get. And I don't really want to make this like one of those things that now I'm going to spend a bunch of money on, but I think it would be cool if there were like a booster pack you could get that included 5 choose a connection and unpatch it cards as modifier cards instead of as disruption or as progression cards. And so it could be like choose a connection and unpatch it, and it has conditions to it. I don't know, something like that. So there would be 5 of those, 5 choose a connection and unpatch it, or choose a connection, unpatch it, and repatch it to another thing. I think that would be cool. For each connection, flip a coin, if heads, unpatch. I like things like that. See, it more conditional stuff would be cool. For each module, flip a coin, if heads, unpatch. So that's cool too. I like things like that. So it's almost like he is kind of doing that. Start from scratch is a real bummer if you draw that and you have a really cool patch. I do like the idea that happens, but I think it would be also cool if it was like start from scratch, draw a new abstraction card, and replay the last 5 progression cards that you drew or something like that. So you kind of get back to where you were, but maybe in a little bit of a different way. Or progression cards with modifiers or something like that. I mean, I'm a big trading card game player. Well, I used to play Magic a lot. So I think it would be interesting if there were cards that were like, you know, if this happens, or if you have this many connections on something, then unpatch it, repatch it to something else. That would be interesting. Choose a module, unpatch all of its inputs. Okay, and then that just breaks the modules. So there are things that can be improved. Maybe not even necessarily improved. I think that there are things that could be changed in ways that would make it more playable as like a game. And I think that the idea of playing it multiplayer, where you're like facing off against people, would be like a great idea for stream patch battles, things like that, where you'd have to be like, I play my trap card, and it's like I play my what is it called? I play my disruption card on you, and then they have to like unpatch their one module of your choice, and you just broke their patch completely. I think there would be a cool like card battle element to it. That might be getting into a little bit of a silly territory, but yeah, I think there is definite promise with patch, and I will definitely keep up with the game itself, and I would love to see what he does with it in the future. So yeah, that's been my video. It's been a really long time. Cheers.